Ezra Klein writes in the Washington Post today about a change of strategy in the White House, that they have gotten an epiphany, that they understand something, a new understanding that they did not have before. I wish someone had told them this, but we'll find out if they had. Here's how he starts his piece. Most in the White House will admit it. Over the past few months, their strategy has swung from seeking compromise to welcoming confrontation. To which I say, hallelujah, it's about damn time. Of course, that's what you should have done. But why? Why did they do that? So he says, quote, after the debt ceiling debacle, they stopped believing that they could reach a deal with House Republicans. Now, I find that amazing. I mean, if they're earnest about this stuff, and these are inside administration officials, and Ezra has excellent contacts in the White House, like that's when you finally realize it, after the debt ceiling deal? How about when they wouldn't budge on the stimulus? How about when they wouldn't budge on the budget talks earlier? How about when they wouldn't budge on the Bush tax cuts? How about when they wouldn't budge on the nuclear reduction program that they originally asked for? How about when they wouldn't budge on every single issue? And finally, at the debt ceiling, you're like, golly gee, you know, maybe we can't work with these House Republicans. Of course you can't work with them. You have to fight them. That's what we've been saying all along. But if they finally recognize that, it's great news. He continues. And so they stopped emphasizing policies they thought Republicans would like and began emphasizing policies like the Buffett rule that they thought the public would like. Think about how stunning that is. The President of the United States finally realizes maybe he should push for policies that the public likes. How many times can I say, of course? And look at the mindset. For a great majority of his first term, he thought, oh, screw what the public wants. Let me try to appease Republicans. I told you that's what they were thinking. And now they're admitting it, at least through officials that are, you know, talking to Ezra Klein. Ezra continues. They said, you know, let me quote him. But then a funny thing began to happen after the fight and after they started doing more confrontations. The president's numbers began to rise, and with it, the possibility that seeking confrontation might force the Republicans to welcome compromise. Gee, I wish somebody had told him that before. Had told him, hey, you know what? If you fight, that doesn't mean you're not going to get to your objective. It's not just for show. It's so you can get results. Anybody know if anybody told the president that, had been saying that on the record? I think we have a tape of some guy who's been saying that for a while now. Let's watch. If the president ran on that issue, if he said, hey, you know what? You win. I like your the issue that you have picked. Let's run the whole campaign on that issue. I'm for birth control. You're against it. Have at it, Hoss. Oh, you want to frame it as religious freedom? Go ahead, try. See what happens. He would bury them. Kind of won on an issue that was not even an issue. That if you had brought it to the American people, the Republicans would have gotten hammered on. We've been telling you that for 3 years. Hit him! Don't try to hit him. Hit him! And you don't lose, you win when you do that. He thinks like, oh no, when I come this time, the bully won't take my lunch money. Yeah. I mean, he took it Monday through Thursday. He's not going to be so mean as to take it on Friday, is he?
What this does, of course, it just encourages them. They think, oh, okay, this Obama's a pushover. And so let's keep on pushing him over.
They were going to smear him no matter what. Who told you that? From day one, we were telling you that. It doesn't do you a bit of good to try to appease them because they're not going to get appeased. If you don't know much about politics and you just watch that and go, what can he do? The Senate won't vote with him. That's it. He has no choice, right? No, he has a huge choice. The way that politics actually works is you go and you campaign in swing states. The only guy who could do it is Obama. And if he says, this is make or break, this is a bright line, and you will not cross it, and I will use all of my political capital and my 65 to 70% approval ratings to insist on a public action so we have actual reform of health care in this country, then it'll get done. If you fight, you can win. If you run from every fight, you will always lose. Look at how Boehner was ready to back down. Why are you letting him off the hook? Does anybody inside the White House have any sense whatsoever? Well, turns out they finally do. Now, we told you that this would get you better results. Here's another quote. It looks as if the president's strengthened position and his clear appetite for further conflict led Republicans to conclude that compromise might serve them better in this case, referring to the payroll tax cut deal. What did we tell you? Because They're not going to do it out of the goodness of their heart. They're not going to do it because you did a beer summit. They're not going to do it because you played golf with them, not because you were nice to them. They will only vote your way or actually do a compromise if you threaten them and you say you will lose your seat unless you vote this way. Then they will act. They're politicians. How could you not know this? How could it take you 3 years as the President of the United States to figure this out? But thank God you did, apparently. Now, they say, look, they're now looking for a 1996 moment where Bill Clinton did a number of compromises with the Republicans, but real compromises, where they actually met halfway. And that helped him to get reelected. Now, that's a little dangerous. I'll get back to that in a second. But they say, quote, but if that happens, it won't be because the White House offered Republicans a deal that they couldn't refuse. It will be because they offered them a confrontation they couldn't win. This will be my 8th one, I think, today of this particular story. Of course, of course. It's amazing to me that the White House looks at, oh my God, it turns out if you confront politicians and they're afraid to lose their seat, that's when they get motivated to help you or to reach a deal. How could this not have been obvious? Anyway, it's a good thing that they're turning around. I hope that they start acting on this, and maybe it'll be a good thing. But I want to throw in a strong note of caution in this story. Because as Ezra explains all this from his sources inside the White House, then he says they're looking for that 96 moment. What is that 96 moment? When they reached all sorts of grand bargains with the Republicans. So the lesson they got from this is, great, let's confront them. That's a good lesson. B, that'll help them push them in our direction. That's a great lesson, that's true. But the third one they got was, and if they come a little towards us, then we can have these great agreements where we compromise further. Oh, Jesus. President Obama is hell-bent on doing the grand bargain. This is another thing that I've been telling you for years. And in the grand bargain, they cut Social Security, and they cut Medicare, and they cut corporate taxes. And they might even cut taxes for the top bracket. And then they do tax reform. They call all this reform. And they take away some of the exemptions that apply to the middle class. They go, oh, we raise taxes over there, and some of it applies to the rich. But in the end, the rich actually and the corporations certainly wind up better off. Okay? And your Social Security and Medicare get reformed, in other words, cut. If all this leads to the biggest buckle by President Obama, but it's to be fair, it's not a buckle, because he's always wanted it. Now, I read, excerpts from 3 different books where they keep saying the president's top priority is to do that grand bargain. This isn't me making it up. The reason I'm telling you is because I read it from inside sources inside the White House. That grand bargain is just atrocious. It totally screws the middle class. And he thinks that's a genius move to get reelected. I'm telling you right now, if he does that grand bargain, he might lose the entire election.